Hey everybody, this is Brad from Johnson Small Engines, working on a Hustler Raptor 42-inch zero turn. And I just want to show you how I operate it to help out you guys out there who own these and may have some questions about operating the machine. First thing we want to do is I'm going to show you the model number that you're going to need if you ever go online and you need to look up parts, or if you need to call the Hustler dealer and get parts for this thing. The model's right here. Okay, and this is a serial number, so just remember you're going to need that. I would definitely write that down in your book if you haven't already, as far as when you pick this up and bought it new. First thing we want to do is we want to check the oil. This has a Kawasaki engine on it. This is an FR600V. This is actually a 20 horsepower twin cylinder engine. All right, now to check the oil, you can lift the seat up. Now the seat doesn't have any kind of shocks that keep this thing up, or there is no latch. So when you lean it over in the front, just be careful you don't swing it and hammer the front of this down on the front, because it will hurt it if you just let it fly. Just be careful, set it down nice and easy. The oil check is right here, and with Kawasaki's engines, you do not screw in the dipstick. So we want to wipe it off. We want to set it down on top of the threads and then take it back out. And you want it to be between the lines right there. And actually, we just serviced this, so the oil is very clean, and it's just between the lines right there. I usually like it a little bit on the full side, not overfilled, but just right below that full line. All right, so you're just gonna put it back down in, screw it back in again, and you're gonna move on to the gas. All right, so the gas tank is here, okay, and the gas fill is over here. And they do have a sticker on the front of this, which actually shows you right down here, okay, only fill tank on level ground and only fill to the bottom of the filler neck. And so what I have seen, now I'm gonna put the seat up for this, is that this is the gas tank, the bottom here is the filler neck, okay, and this actually is almost a full tank of gas right here. If you go around to the side here, right here, you can see, if I shake this around, that the gas is about full. I would say just fill it to the top of this right here, because if you open up your gas cap, it looks like there's so much room in there to fill it up, and people are going to actually overfill this. It looks like it's going to be very easy to overfill, because if you look down on the gas tank, the full is going to be like right here. And then if you fill it way up past the neck, you're definitely going to have some issues. Fuel going out the gas cap here, it just says do not overfill it. So I would assume that only fill it up to the bottom there, and that's full. Or just check and just make sure that you don't go above, I would say, the top of the fuel tank here. This is about where I would fill it up top max. Don't fill it up through this neck. It's not good to do that. At least that's what they're saying. I haven't ever tried it and probably won't, but just keep that in mind. All right, so it's full gas, oil's checked. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to operate it. I'm gonna hop on here. Okay, this is a zero turn. This is a two-handed, two-armed here. Actually, I was born with the one hand, just so you guys already know. All right, so you have the handles here. Now, all the way out, now this is your brake. Okay, this is like your parking brake. This is not when you're going. You can't move them forward or backward right here. When you start the machine up and when you shut it down, these should be in the out position. The brake's on. Your safety switch also works that way too, so if you have to get off the machine and do anything while it's running, you can always put these handles out, and as long as these handles are out, and you should be able to get off the machine and it's still run. I'll show you that in a minute. But as far as running the machine, just pull these in. Okay, now you have backwards, you have forward, and then you have it's left and right, okay? And you just have to kind of get out there and start messing with this and get into a piece of your property where you're not gonna run into something. It's not too bad getting into it, as far as, you'll figure it out real quick if you ever use a zero turn. If you haven't used a zero turn, it's basically, like I said, forward, backward, and you got left and then right. Or actually it might be the opposite way. I have to actually be running it just to find out for myself if it's which way it's going, right or left. But it's easy to figure out. So we're gonna start this up. We're gonna put it in the back out position. Now, like I said, this is in the parking brake position. Safety switches are locked in now, so you can start the machine up. Do want to go down, and before we do that, and just show you the mower deck. Okay, so you have a foot pedal here that raises and lowers the mower deck. All right, this is a pin you pull out. Now I'm gonna put pressure on the lever here, pull up the pin, okay? Now that releases the mower deck. Now right now, if I don't have pressure on this deck, it's on the pedal, it's just gonna fall down, okay? So remember that when you take this out. This is not spring loaded, it's just weight of the mower deck. So you basically have to rely on your leg muscles to push this up and down. You have different holes in here that gives you different heights. They go by, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, okay? I just go by, get the mower deck down to where you think you like it, slip it into a slot. Now, right now, the mower deck is at a different position, and you can go by the letters, which hole it is in. and that will probably, if you go in your manual, it's going to tell you the inches the grass is going to cut. Just get into your yard, start cutting the grass. If you like that cut, leave it there. If not, pull it out. Now you remember, every time you pull this out, you have to put pressure on this pedal, because if you don't, you can almost not pull it out. So as soon as you put a little bit of pressure on that, it'll come out. Okay, so that, and also when you're moving from slot to slot, you'll see that there's a bar in here that goes back and forth, and you just put it in front of the bar and leave go, and then that's going to set the mower deck height. So that's your mower deck height. I do, when I'm running this thing across the grass, and you're not going to be cutting the grass, I'll push the pedal in, take this out. I usually put it all in the up position, just so that the mower deck will not get hit or beat up by something if you go over it. But when you get down into your grass, when you're going to cut, you can use like a silver marker and mark the grass line that you actually like. So if you like it down here and you like the grass cut that low, you can always put like a little silver mark right there, and then you'll know what hole to go back to whenever you're cutting the grass. So whatever hole you're in, you can always go back to the one that you like for the grass cut. Now I'm just going to leave it up just for the purpose of this video, and that just keeps it away from getting hit. Okay, so now we're ready to start the machine. Poles are out, your steering is out. You have controls here. You have your on and off key switch. You have your PTO switch, which is your power takeoff for your blades. You have throttle, fast as rabbit, slow as turtle. I usually start them about halfway. And you do have a choke lever off to the side there. So your choke, you have to pull up. Okay, you're gonna make sure you're at least half throttle, or, I mean, it depends on the person on how you want to start your machine. I like half throttle, so I leave it at half throttle. It's gonna start up a little bit easier at half throttle too. Make sure your PTO switch is down. That's your power takeoff for your blades. And you're gonna crank this to crank. Once it starts, push choke back in. Let it warm up for a little bit before you turn the blades on. And you want to get somewhere in your property, you know, that you can actually make sure you're not going to be where we're on asphalt, so I don't actually want to turn this on, but I'm going to show you how to operate it forward and backward if we can see this on video. So you're going to pull the handles in, and then you're going to pull this back and push this forward to go right. All right, now you're looking at me a different way, so it's going to be a little bit tricky, but push that one forward, pull this one back. That's right turn, forward. Bring it back to neutral in the middle. Now stop you, and you have backward. That forward left is going to be, you're going to push the right one forward, and that turns you left, so you can bring back the left one, and you can kind of get it. Now when you want to stop, bring it back to neutral. Just make sure you bring it back to neutral every time you want to stop. Forward, neutral, back, neutral. If you want to get off the machine, you put these all the way in the lock position and get up. It will not shut down. Okay? But when you put the PTO on, the power takeoff, the mower will shut down no matter what until you turn the PTO off. So I'm turning the PTO on here. You can't see it from there. Now it's laser running. You go forward, backward, lock it down. The laser's still on, but it does shut down. Okay? So remember that. Now remember, this is a lot of people do this. The machine shuts down, they go like lock them back out and wonder why it won't start. Well, the reason why it won't start is because they forgot, since the machine stopped, that you do have to push the PTO button down, which actually turns off the PTO. Okay, so this button here, if you forget and it's up, you will not be able to start the tractor if it shuts off on you when you're cutting grass. A lot of people will run out of gas and they don't realize that the PTO, which was the mower deck, was on, and they forget to push it back down. So remember, if you have a problem with these all the way out and you're wondering why it won't start, check your PTO switch. That is something that I have seen a lot of, and it's not, once you get used to it, you'll not have the problem. That's pretty much it for the PTO going on. I think I have everything. If there's any questions or comments, please let me know. Oh, I did want to show you one other thing. The other thing I did want to show you is that we have to, if you need to push this machine, you have to remove the hydro release valves. Okay, so we have hydro release valves behind the tractor here, behind the zero turn. They're actually down. Now be careful. This is a big muffler right here, and it's very, very hot. Okay, so the ring here, you pull this out, okay, and you see this little notch right here with my other finger. See that notch? That'll notch over, and then you just lock it out. The other side is on this side here. Okay, now you really gotta be careful because that muffler is right there. So as we just ran it, it's very hot. You don't want to burn yourself. Pull this out, lock it over to the right there, and the other one you lock over to the left. Okay, so these are out. Now you think you'd be able to push it right now, right? Well, guess what? You can't. The reason being, your arms, these are locked out in the brake position. So you have to make sure that you pull these in so the brakes are off. And then if you need to push the machine for any reason, you want to make sure that these are in the unlock position, which are all the way out. That is out in the unlock position. This one's out in the unlock position. And now we should be able to push the machine. Okay? You do not want to push a hydrostatically driven transmission when it's in gear, because it's not good for the transmission at all. So you just have to remember, if you need, for any reason, to push it, you want to make sure you pull these out. Okay? And then you want to make sure that your arms for your brakes are all the way in, and you're going to have to kind of steer this your own by the front or the back, or however you're going to tow it or push it. Then just remember, when you're ready to go again, all you have to do is pull this out a little bit, slide it over, push it in. Okay, other side, pull it out, push it over, and push it in. Then you get on, lock your bars out to the park position, hop on, start it up, and away you go. Hope everybody enjoyed that video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.